Greetings, I'm Mark with Unlimited Story, unlimited-story.com, a channel dedicated to writing, world building, marketing, and most importantly, getting things done. If you want to support this channel and the things that I do, check out my stuff on Kindle and Kindle Vella. Links are in the description below. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Color of Resiliency by Frances Murray. And here's the description. Franny's mind is made of supernatural wonder. She ventures in and out of the ordinary world, burdened with a diagnosis that betrays her communal character. Medication is her only coping mechanism, but in February of 2018, tolerance takes its toll, and she's seeing things, she's hearing things. Sensory overload marbles her consciousness, and it has her mad. Compulsion rears its ugly head, and she's unstoppable. Rather than providing the support she needed, her tiny network of family and friends, ... Huh. All right, let's see what we got here. Young adult, mental health, mental illness, based on true story, childhood trauma, PTSD, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder. Interesting. All right, what's the image here? It looks like a little painting, and it looks like two people leaning up against each other by a lake, I think. And is that a lightning bolt? I'm thinking it's a lightning bolt. So, all right, very cool. Let's see what this is all about. I've just finished reading the first 3 of The Color of Resiliency, and here's what's going on, because there's a lot going on. Even just based on the description, you find out that there's a lot of sensory overload, and when you're reading this, that is absolutely the case. You definitely understand what your main character is going through. So what happens? Main character is driving a car that is getting low on gas, and it is going, well, first off, she's using MapQuest. Good old MapQuest. I shouldn't say good old MapQuest, because really MapQuest wasn't that great compared to what we got now in the future, because this is happening way back in time. And let's see here. So she is going back to her childhood home. I don't really know what she was looking for there, but she's definitely going. I mean, when she gets there, she wants a souvenir, but I'm already getting ahead of myself. Okay, so she's looking for her old place. She goes to where she thinks it was, and she basically cannot find it. Okay, just can't find it. But she ends up hearing gunshots, and it freaks her out. And the next thing you know, she's booking it. She's just booking it somewhere. And the next thing she knows, she finds her old house, which is looks like a trailer. I think it's a trailer. It's nothing special. In fact, it is super gross. And as she goes in there, it just continually goes downhill. You just start finding out all kinds of horrible things, all kinds of trauma, all kinds of abuse. It's just not a great thing. So I'll let you read that part. Okay, so she's having all these memories. There's a lot of sensory input going on here, a lot of detail put into it. So that's happening. And in the end, she just kind of peels out. She's just done. She goes into her old room. She remembers a lot of really bad stuff that happened there, and just gone. She's out, gets in her car, going. Okay, what happens next? So there is a brief discussion about the, what is it called? Eye movement desensitization reprocessing specialist. So she is going to a doctor because you find this out later. She's got a twitch or something like that. And she's hoping this is all going to help her out. So she's driving there. She has a new car because this actually happens when she's 31. I think the last one happened, the first episode happened when she was 19. Okay, so she got a new car. She goes into some detail about how much she loves it. It's like her premium vehicle. It's a far bigger upgrade than the previous one. Anyway, she starts going on about the doctor. She goes there. This is actually a really interesting part because it goes into a little bit of her anxiety. So she there's parking spots up in the front, and she wants to park there, but then she has all these problems, and she's like, do I really deserve to park there? Did I park crooked? Is someone going to key my car? Is someone going to come get me? All these thoughts happen to her, and it's just really interesting to see how she thinks compared to obviously you only know how you think, so how I think, because I'd be like, hey, there's a parking spot, sweet deal. So she ends up parking further back, and she's more comfortable with that. Okay, so she ends up going in. There is this really comical line that I just love. Basically, she's like, in Florida, there is no fall. We just have pumpkin spice. And as a pumpkin spice, I don't want to say I'm an advocate, but as someone who is fully aware of pumpkin spice activity, um, it's just funny. And by pumpkin spice activity, I mean, hey, all of a sudden, like the flip of a switch, everything goes pumpkin spice heavy for like 2 months of the year. And so it's just, sorry, just, I find it funny. There's certain things in here that, like MapQuest and pumpkin spice, that really get me going. I shouldn't say get me going. It just makes me laugh. I don't want to say pulls me out of the story, but it's something that I find really interesting about the story because it's personal to me. All right, getting back to the story. She goes out filling out some forms, and that she basically is filling out information that she's already done, which, again, this is comical to me because, I'll go to the doctor. I'll be like, I swear I've filled out this information literally every time I've been here. And then it's also funny because you do go see the doctor. You go there 30 minutes early and you're still waiting. And then they ask you the same questions. It's just, I don't want to say it's funny. I'm sure there's a reason for it in the medical profession, but I'm just saying this is the stuff that hits home with me. Anyway, she fills this stuff out. Next thing you know, they call her name. Okay, so the MC is Francis. Yep. And, the therapist, they go into a chat. So this is it's kind of an exposition machine. Like, you will learn everything about the character before. The first 2 episodes, I didn't even know really much about anything except that she's going through a lot. Now I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. So you find out the name, you get introduced. She's got 2 kids. That she is now divorced. She was adopted. She's been with her boyfriend for a year. She moved from Mississippi where she had like a good social network. And now she's in Florida, so she can be closer to the kids because that's where her ex-husband is. So just like it keeps going. That's the nuts and bolts about it, but that is a tiny bit of all the detail that she goes into. And then she asks her what she's hoping to do by coming here, and she's like, basically, I want to stop flinching because I don't like it. People think something of you. Like, of course, people judge you because you're flinching. They think something's up, right? Like, that makes sense. So she wants to fix it. Okay, and then essentially, the therapist person asked her to start going over some memories, like her first, second, and third memory. And then this is another thing, and of course I'm no therapist, but I would definitely make it a point not to look at my watch. Like, I would put a clock or something in a place that isn't obvious. So if you're watching the time, which I don't feel like you should really be watching the time because you're trying to get to know somebody and make them feel welcome. Anyway, she's looking at her clock, and then, of course the main character is like, this person doesn't even care about me. They're just watching the time, they're collecting a check. So I get that because you're trying to, make a connection with these people so they can help you. I get that. Okay. So, anyway, she looks at her watch. She asks her like, oh, how did you find out about me? Like, cause she's looking for referrals. So that's a business maneuver. I'm just like, these are the kind of things that would drive me crazy as a patient. Anyway, so essentially the therapist is like, okay, thanks for all this information. Let's schedule another meeting. It'll be a month ahead. And I'll tell you this, the MC is really sad. She's ashamed. She pours her heart out and is like, okay, they're just worried about, my next scheduled appointment so they can stay busy, and just, she feels truly, ashamed. She, went over all this stuff and just, it is very sad. So she goes to the bathroom, and she's just really sad. She kind of has a mini meltdown. And then she looks in the mirror, sees like a younger version of herself. And that's pretty much how it ends. So that's the end of the 3rd episode. The main character is not living the good life, is really struggling through all this trauma and is trying to get help. And basically what the description said. So my 1-sentence summary, main character is going through a lot and probably isn't going to get any help. I hope she does, but we'll find out. All right. So, I think that's it. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Hit me up on whatever. Discord. Thanks. Bye. Peace.